Hello everyone, good afternoon. Today is Sunday, March 15th, 2026 at 13:43, and today we have our Day 2 outlook to look at for tomorrow. And holy cow, this is dangerous. So tomorrow we have a moderate risk for parts of northern South Carolina, central North Carolina, central Virginia, Washington, D.C., into central Maryland. We have an enhanced risk encompassing parts of central Pennsylvania, most of Delaware, parts of eastern Maryland and western Maryland as well, parts of western and eastern Virginia, parts of west central and eastern North Carolina, parts of South Carolina, and northeastern Georgia, and extreme northern Florida. We have a slight risk encompassing parts of northern and central Florida, parts of southeastern Alabama, central Georgia, western South Carolina, western North Carolina, western Virginia, eastern West Virginia, western Maryland, central Pennsylvania, into central New York, as well as into parts of eastern and central New Jersey. And we have a marginal risk that encompasses parts of southern Florida, as well as extreme western Florida Panhandle, southeastern Alabama, north central Georgia, parts of western North Carolina, extreme eastern Tennessee, western Virginia, central West Virginia, western Pennsylvania, going into New York State, including New York City, extreme western Massachusetts, and Connecticut, and I think that is it. So this is a busy day tomorrow. So please make sure you pay attention to this. Oh, we forgot the cities. We have Washington, D.C., Raleigh, Durham, Richmond, and Arlington under the moderate. Philadelphia, Baltimore, Charlotte, Virginia Beach, and Norfolk are under the enhanced. Jacksonville, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Tallahassee, and Syracuse are under the slight. And New York, Akron, Miami, Pittsburgh, and Newark are under the marginal. So let's go ahead and see what we've got for tomorrow. So this is really significant. We have a 30% hatched area for parts of northern South Carolina, central North Carolina, central Virginia, into Washington, D.C., and central Maryland. We have a 10% tornado threat hatched that encompasses parts of southern Pennsylvania and going into central to eastern Maryland, parts of western and eastern Virginia, west central and eastern North Carolina, much of South Carolina, southeastern Georgia, and extreme northern Florida. We have a 5% hatch that encompasses parts of northern Florida as well as the western part of the Florida Panhandle, going into central Georgia, western South Carolina, western North Carolina, western Virginia, western Maryland, going into central Pennsylvania and into central New York State. And we have a 2% hatch that encompasses parts of central New York State through central Pennsylvania, parts of New Jersey, going into western Maryland, extreme, this is really hard, extreme eastern West Virginia, extreme western Virginia, western North Carolina, extreme western South Carolina, central Georgia, and going into southeastern Alabama. And we have going into central Florida as well. So we do have those areas basically under that as well. So again, this is a significant level 1. So we have Jacksonville, Baltimore, Charlotte, Washington, D.C., and Virginia Beach under the SIG 1. Washington, D.C., Raleigh, Durham, Richmond, and Arlington under the 30%. Baltimore, Charlotte, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, and Greensboro under the 15%. Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Gainesville, Macon, and Roanoke under the 5%. And Philadelphia, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Orlando, and Syracuse under the 2%. So for the 30% hatched, we could see an EF2, maybe even an EF3 tornado possible in any given area. 10% hatched, we could see an EF2 top tornado threat possible. 5% hatched, we could see an EF1 possible. And 2% we could see a EF0 to EF1 possible. So a strong tornado is also possible, so please be mindful of that tomorrow. Here's another, basically the main risk also. We have a 60% wind threat that encompasses parts of northern South Carolina, central North Carolina, central Virginia, Washington, D.C., into central Maryland. We have a 45% hatch that encompasses parts of southern Pennsylvania, eastern Maryland, parts of Delaware, western and eastern Virginia, western and eastern North Carolina, going into South Carolina. And we do have a 15% that encompasses parts of northern Florida, southeastern Alabama, southern and central Georgia, western South Carolina, western North Carolina, western Virginia, eastern West Virginia, western Maryland, western Pennsylvania, going into central New York State, going into New Jersey, and we have a 5% that encompasses parts of New York State. Whoa, reset. Parts of western Connecticut, parts of New Jersey, going into, looks like, western Pennsylvania, central West Virginia, western Virginia, extreme eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina, central Georgia, and parts of, southeastern Alabama and western Florida. And we do have central Florida under the risk as well. Sorry, I'm getting distracted, y'all. I honestly can't believe that I'm even in the path of this. So, we have Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Virginia Beach, Raleigh, and Norfolk under the SIG 1. We have Washington, D.C., Raleigh, Durham, Richmond, and Arlington under the 60%. Philadelphia, Baltimore, Charlotte, Norfolk, and Greensboro under the 45%. Virginia Beach, Savannah, Charleston, Wilmington, and Roanoke under the 30%. Jacksonville, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Tallahassee, and Syracuse under the 15%. And New York, Atlanta, Miami, Pittsburgh, and Newark under the 5%. So, make sure you listen closely. So for the 60% area, we could see 90, even 100 mile per hour wind gusts possible. 45% we could see 80 mile per hour wind gusts possible. 30% we could see 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts possible. 15% we could see 70 to 75 mile per hour wind gusts possible. 5% we could see 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts possible tomorrow. So please make sure you have a way of getting alerted. Going into the hail threat for tomorrow, which is way less, we have a 15% that encompasses parts of northern Florida, southeastern Georgia, central to eastern southeastern Alabama, central to eastern Georgia, most of South Carolina, most of North Carolina, and parts of southern Virginia. And we have a 5% that encompasses parts of northern and western parts of Florida Panhandle, southeastern Alabama, central Georgia, western South Carolina, western North Carolina, much of Virginia, eastern West Virginia, parts of most of Maryland, Washington, D.C., going through central Pennsylvania into southern New York State, and parts of Delaware as well under the hail risk, 5%. So, we have Jacksonville, Raleigh, Durham, Savannah, and Fayetteville under the significant severe. We have Jacksonville, Charlotte, Raleigh, Greensboro, and Durham under the 15%, and Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Miami, and Tampa under the 5%. So for the 5% area, especially in the 15% area, especially for the hatched area, we could see baseball-sized hail possible tomorrow. For the 5% area, we could see 1 to 2 inch diameter hail possible tomorrow, so please be mindful of that tomorrow. So I think this is an outbreak. Let's see what these guys say. Widespread severe storms are anticipated on Monday across the southeast and mid-Atlantic states. Tornadoes, some strong wind, particularly damaging winds are most likely from parts of South Carolina to Maryland during the afternoon. So I do really hope that you stay weather aware and stay safe tomorrow. There's tomorrow's hail risk. There's tomorrow's wind risk. There's tomorrow's tornado risk. And there's tomorrow's day 2 outlook. So I do really hope that you stay weather aware and stay safe tomorrow. Yes, even if you are in the marginal, you still want to remain weather aware and safe, as you never know what these storms could do in the marginal. Anyway, I do really hope that you have a great rest of your day. Take today to prepare for tomorrow, and I will go over this outlook again tomorrow morning when it becomes day 1. In the meantime, stay weather aware, stay safe, and take care.